What's up? Out here from Fab. Today I'm going to be carrying on with the roll cage build on the Race Mini. So as you can see, I'm just bringing the roll cage right up to the front of the car, and that square plate you can see, that is welded right on the back of the cross member that sits across the front, where the subframe bolts into the car. And then this will be triangulated down to the lower mount as well later on. This is a section of the floor that I'm replacing, as I'd removed like an overlapped section where it meets the bulkhead at the front. I was sort of looking to see if there was any rust in between the two overlap panels, and I decided that I would just replace the floor in that area, because there's a jacking point which had rusted a bit on the underside, and it hadn't rusted through, but it was thin, and I just wanted that area around my feet to be really solid and strong. You can see where that foot plate box sits. Right under there is where the jacking point is, and they get bent every time you jack the car up, and that's why there was some rust there. And you can see there's a few holes that need welding up, and then that edge where those holes are, where I'm cutting along now, that's where I'd removed the overlap, so I wanted to put that back in and overlap the floor to the bulkhead there, and the new piece all ties in nicely with that reinforcing plate that I put in as well. So what I'm doing there is just bending those edges up, and I've just run a cut in the centre, and then brought those little corners up just so they meet the flat edge of the panel. Now I'm just welding up the cuts that I put in there, and then that is a straight edge along that top piece. And that's the floor pan in there, nice and strong, solid. And that's it, fully welded in, and I'm happy that that's a much stronger area for my feet to be protected in. And then I did some stitch welding around that panel as well, and you can see I did both sides of the floor because the passenger side was the same with the jacking point. So I've missed a little bit of the video there, but this is the support that, if you watch the first video and I showed you the regs, they show support running to the bottom section of the subframe. So this is the way I've put that in. That's a slightly smaller diameter tube, but it's still a seamless CDS tube. And this is the harness bar going in, and the steering column will drop down. Sorry, not the harness bar, the dash bar. And the steering column will drop down from the dash bar, but I can't mount that until I've got the seat mounted. And then these are just some support to run down to where the subframe actually bolts through the bulkhead. and you can see there they just drop down either side of, so you've got a bolt either side of that little support bracket. It's always difficult getting the camera in a good position. That's not putting the torch in a very good position either. So that's that section fully welded in. I'm happy with how that's come out. 10 points if you can guess what these are. So after I'd made these, I decided that I wished I had not put the holes in them, but I'm trying to move this project along quickly, and I was listening to a guy chatting about building race cars, and he was saying that you have to apply the 80% rule, because if you try to do everything to 100%, you'll spend all your time building your race car and you'll never actually get to race your race car. So sometimes good enough needs to be good enough, and so I decided to just get them welded in. Some more excellent camera placement there. And the cage design itself, I did actually want to do it a little bit differently, but I didn't want to buy a load of extra tube, and I had a lot of offcuts that needed using up. So that did play a part in the design, but I'm happy with how it came out. This I just put in a real-time weld, so you can see how long one of these welds takes, and I'm using my TIG finger there just to help slide down the tube, which you would be able to see if I put the camera in a better position. And these little corner braces aren't something that I have ever put in a cage before, but I noticed a lot of the minis do run these, so I decided to put them in, and it's amazing how much strength that will add, and it doesn't add a lot of weight, so I think it's worth doing. If you imagine if that was to take a hit in that top corner where my hand is now, that's going to really help that corner from pushing down, and it will just spread the load along the tube. And that's all the welding on the cage finished. So happy with that. I've put those bars in along the sills as well. The mini shell itself really has very little structure to it. There's no chassis rails. It's really quite minimal. So a lot of the cars do have a lot of roll cage in them, so quite a bit of weight added to the car, but yeah, I'm happy that I will feel safe racing in this. And that's my seat rails, which will mount off of that back piece and drop down to the box cross members, but I need to buy a seat before I can get those finished. And that's it, roll cage complete. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I was doing it again straight away. There's definitely some things I would do a little bit differently, but overall I'm happy with that. And I need to get some primer on there because it's very damp and cold in the workshop at the moment, and everything is rusting quickly. So what we're looking at here is the next raffle prize. So I've just been down to Inverter Fusion in Honiton, and this is what I picked up. It's a Lincoln Electric SpeedTech 215C MIG welder, 240 volt, single phase, and I wanted to do a Lincoln machine because they're a premium brand, and it's kind of like the difference between Snap-on tools and say like Halford's tools or something. You can get other machines for half the price which do exactly the same job, but it's the fit and finish and all the little things that just add up to make a higher quality product. And it's hard to really put your finger on exactly what it is, but they are just a really nice, well built machine, and they are more expensive, admittedly, but someone's going to win this for £5, so the price is irrelevant really. And yeah, it's super simple to use. All the menus are really easy, straightforward to use, fully synergic settings, loads of different programs on it, and just the buttons and the dials have a nice feel to them. And yeah, it's a nice machine. Takes a 15 kilo roll. It's floor standing, so you haven't got to buy a trolley. There's storage in the base of it, storage in the top. So yeah, I think it's a really nice little machine, great for a home garage or professional workshop. So if you're interested in trying to win that, then go over to urchfab.com and have a look. But that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.